starting with the latest in the Russia-Ukraine war. Russian air defenses have shot down 2 armed drones headed for Moscow. This is according to Moscow's mayor, Sergei Sobyanin. He said 1 drone was downed on the southern outskirts of the city. The second was shot down in the Minsk highway area. This was the 3rd attempted drone attack on Moscow within a week. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the country will fight back against Russia in the Black Sea. This is to ensure that its waters are not blockaded and it can import and export grain. Zelensky's comments come as Ukrainian maritime drones packed with explosives damaged a Russian warship and struck a tanker. Tensions in the Black Sea escalated last month since Russia withdrew from a deal that allowed the safe export of grain. Germany has offered to extend the deployment of 3 Patriot air defense units in Poland until the end of 2023. Along with this, some 300 German soldiers have been sent to the Polish town of Zamość. It's about 50 kilometers away from Ukraine's border. The deployment began after a stray Ukrainian missile struck a Polish village in November. It raised fears of the war in Ukraine spilling over the border. US President Joe Biden has said that he will be traveling to Vietnam shortly. This is because the country wants to elevate its relationship with the US and become a major partner. Biden made the remarks while speaking at a fundraiser in New Mexico. In April, Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken had expressed a desire to deepen ties. US federal prosecutors and an attorney for former US President Donald Trump have been ordered to appear in court on Friday. The order has been issued by a federal judge presiding over Trump's trial on charges of trying to overturn the 2020 US presidential election results. On Monday, Trump's defense team opposed a request from prosecutors to impose a protective order. The order was meant to ensure that confidential evidence is not shared publicly by Trump, as it could be used to intimidate witnesses. Hundreds of migrants gathered at the US border in a northern Mexican city on Monday. This happened after a rumor spread that the US would allow entry. Some said they had been waiting for weeks to secure appointments to request asylum. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been banned from politics for 5 years. This comes after he was sentenced in a corruption case over the weekend. Khan has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for the misdeclaration of assets he received from foreign countries while he was in power from 2018 to 2022. The former Pakistani Prime Minister denies any wrongdoing. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian has called for collaboration between Iran and BRICS countries. He spoke at the BRICS and Iran Perspectives for Partnership and Cooperation Summit in Tehran on Tuesday. He said that Iran's geographical location and energy resources make it a reliable and effective partner in bilateral and multilateral cooperation. The minister also added that Tehran welcomes any initiatives that help lift unilateral and illegal US sanctions against it. A German national has been sentenced to 81 years in prison in Kenya. This comes after a Kenyan court found him guilty of several counts of child abuse and the possession of child pornography. 74-year-old Thomas Scheller was charged in 2020 after it was alleged that he had sexually abused a 13-year-old child. He was accused of showing 2 minors child pornography. Scheller was arrested outside the German embassy in Nairobi. Japan held a ceremony to mark the 78th anniversary of the Nagasaki atomic bombing. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida addressed attendees via video message. The Nagasaki atomic bombing happened 3 days after a nuclear attack was carried out in Hiroshima. The two bombings killed more than 200,000 people. Thousands more died later due to injuries and radiation-related illnesses. In climate news, leaders of 8 South American countries have pledged to protect the Amazon rainforest. This was during the Amazon summit in the Brazilian city of Belém. The countries signed a joint declaration to promote sustainable development and the end of deforestation. However, the summit stopped short of agreeing to key demands by environmentalists and indigenous groups. This includes a pledge to end illegal deforestation by 2030 and oil exploration in the Amazon region. Meanwhile, the illegal dumping of industrial waste is polluting the Brazilian city of Belém. It's threatening the flora, fauna, and livelihoods of those living near the region. Belém is the main entry point for the Amazon rainforest. The city is also the host of the Amazon Summit. Heavy winds and rain from Typhoon Khanun continue to batter Japan. This comes as another storm approached from the east to possibly threaten the capital city, Tokyo. Trains and flights have been cancelled in some cities. Japan's meteorological agency issued weather warnings to many parts of the country. Workers in China's Zhuozhou city were seen sorting through massive piles of wet books. These books were damaged by the recent floods in the city. Zhuozhou is a major hub for China's publishing industry. Many publishing companies and book warehouses have seen their depots turn into a sea of floating books. This was after the city was hit by catastrophic flooding due to Typhoon Doksuri. Strong winds, intense rain and landslides hit parts of Norway. Villages have been flooded, power lines have been knocked out, and transport has come to a standstill. The Norwegian emergency services have evacuated hundreds of people in various locations. A fierce storm lashed the U.S. state of Massachusetts on Tuesday. It has damaged property and left cars submerged in floodwater. A building sustained severe damage after the heavy downpour. Meanwhile, footage shows a large tornado sweeping through the U.S. state of Colorado. The National Weather Service has also issued a tornado warning for east central Washington County. Americans are enduring extreme weather throughout the country. Heat waves, thunderstorms, hail, and flooding and tornadoes are all wreaking havoc. A video shows an unusual waterspout phenomenon in Italy's Abruzzo region. Waterspouts are tornadoes that occur over a body of water but never reach land. They are characterized by a funnel-shaped cloud. The International Whaling Commission has issued an extinction alert for the endangered vaquita porpoise. A report by the IWC showed an 83% drop in vaquita populations between 2015 and 2018. Its population is estimated to have shrunk to less than a dozen. Scientists believe breeding could be one way to get cows to release less methane. Cattle release methane when they burp. In Canada, a genetics company is selling bull semen with a low methane trait. This will produce calves that burp less of the gas. The company says this breeding strategy could bring down Canada's methane emissions by 1.5% annually. Now on to business and tech news. China fell into deflation in July. This is according to the country's National Bureau of Statistics. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for the month dropped to 0.3% year-on-year. CPI is one of the most popular measures of inflation and deflation. Meanwhile, the country's Producer Price Index also fell for the 10th consecutive month. It was down 4.4% from a year earlier. Ratings agency Moody's has said that the US banking sector is still strong. This is after the agency downgraded some small to mid-sized lenders yesterday. The company has also warned that it may cut the ratings of several other banks. Moody's managing director Anna Arsov said that the move was in response to some economic headwinds. Arsov added that it did not mean to indicate that the system is broken. US regulators have fined 9 Wall Street companies more than $500 million. This includes companies like Wells Fargo, BNP Paribas, and Societe Generale. The fine is over company employees using personal messaging apps to discuss deals, trades, and other business. The US Federal Reserve has clarified rules for state banks to transact in stablecoins. Under the rules, state banks that are a member of the Fed system should obtain a written supervisory non-objection from the central bank. This is for issuing, holding, or transacting in stablecoins to facilitate payments. The Fed will also create a new supervisory program. This is to oversee the activities of the banks related to cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and tech-driven non-bank partnerships. Taiwanese Chipmaker TSMC has said that its board has approved the construction of the firm's first European factory. The factory will be built in Germany. The company will invest nearly $4 billion in the project. TSMC has been in talks with Germany since 2021 to build a fabrication plant in the country. A US appeals court has rejected a challenge by Starbucks to a wrongful termination ruling. The ruling required the coffee chain to rehire 7 employees at a store in the US state of Tennessee. They were allegedly fired for supporting a union. The court said that the company's actions likely discouraged other employees from exercising their rights under US labor laws. Reports say Universal Music and Google are in talks to license artists' voices and melodies. This is for artificial intelligence-generated songs. The goal is to develop a tool for fans to create tracks legitimately using the artist's AI voices. It will also pay the owners holding the copyright. The report added that artists are free to opt out of the process. A US judge has rejected Google's bid to dismiss a lawsuit. The lawsuit claims that the tech giant invaded the privacy of millions of people by secretly tracking their internet usage. The suit alleges that Google's analytics, cookies, and apps let the company track user activity. This is even when they set the Google Chrome browser to incognito mode and other browsers to private browsing mode. Canadian news industry groups have asked the country's antitrust regulator to investigate Meta platforms. This is over the company's decision to block news on its platforms in Canada. The publishers accuse Meta of abusing its dominant position in the market. Last week, Meta started blocking news on its Facebook and Instagram platforms for all users in Canada. This was in response to a law requiring some companies to pay for sharing news articles. Meanwhile, Meta Platforms is asking a court in Norway to stop a fine imposed by the country's data regulator. Norway's data regulator fined Facebook's parent company over privacy breaches. Meta is now asking for a temporary injunction against the order. The company's petition will be presented on August 22nd during a 2-day hearing. Moving to sports, in cricket, India beat the West Indies by 7 wickets in the third 2020 match. The West Indies batted first. They scored 159 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in their innings. Then, Indian batter Surya Kumar Yadav stole the show. He smashed 83 runs in just 44 balls. India chased down their target with 13 deliveries remaining. The West Indies lead the 5-match T20 series 2-1. In football, France beat Morocco 4-0 at the Women's World Cup. France scored 2 goals in the 15th and 20th minute. Then, Eugene Le Sommer's double sealed a thumping win for France. They will next play co-hosts Australia in the quarter-final on Saturday. Meanwhile, Colombia beat Jamaica 1-0 at the World Cup. Catalina Usme scored the only goal of the match in the 51st minute. Colombia have now reached a Women's World Cup quarter-final for the first time. They will next play England on Saturday. Brazilian star Neymar has informed Paris Saint-Germain that he wants to leave the club. Neymar said he would prefer to leave before the transfer window closes at the end of the month. The Brazilian striker has indicated that he wants to go back to the La Liga club FC Barcelona. However, Barca's coach Xavi Hernandez says, and I quote, "Barcelona may not be able to afford Neymar." English Premier League club Arsenal are closing in on signing goalkeeper David Raya. According to reports, Arsenal and Brentford have agreed to a transfer of the Spanish goalkeeper. The financial details have not been officially disclosed, but reports say Raya is set to join Arsenal for a transfer fee of around $38 million. Defender Edson Alvarez is looking to complete his move to English club West Ham United. The Mexican player currently plays for the Dutch team Ajax. According to reports, West Ham have agreed to pay Ajax over $44 million for Alvarez. In tennis, world number 5 Casper Ruud advanced to the round of 16 at the Canadian Masters. The tournament is being played in the Canadian city of Toronto. Norway's Ruud beat the Czech Republic's Jiří Lehecka 7-6, 4-6 in straight sets. This is despite Ruud committing 21 unforced errors. He will now play his next round tomorrow. World number 16 Alexander Zverev also won at the Canadian Masters. Germany's Zverev beat his Dutch opponent 6-4, 7-6 in straight sets. He'll next play against Spain's Alejandro Fokina in the round of 32. Zverev holds a 3-0 win record against the Spaniard. Meanwhile, Caroline Wozniacki made a stunning comeback to tennis after retiring in 2020. Denmark's Wozniacki cruised into the second round at the Canadian Masters. She beat Australia's Kimberly Birrell 6-2, 6-2 in straight sets. Wozniacki will next play the newly crowned Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova on Thursday. India's shot put champion Tajinder Singh Toor has pulled out of this year's World Athletics Championships. The World Athletics Championships will be held in Hungary from the 19th to the 27th of August. Toor is dropping out of the athletic meet because he's still recovering from a groin injury which he suffered in July. Meanwhile, Indian high jumper Tejaswin Shankar will also skip the World Athletics Championships. Shankar said he would rather prepare for the Asian Games, which will begin in September. Moving to the world of entertainment, Canadian rapper Tory Lanez has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. He's been sentenced for shooting fellow artist Megan Thee Stallion during an argument in 2020. The sentence comes 7 months after his conviction in the case. He was found guilty of carrying a loaded and unregistered firearm in a vehicle, assault with a semi-automatic handgun, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Lanez's attorney has called the sentencing incredibly harsh. Actor Billy Porter has revealed that he had to sell his house amid the ongoing Hollywood writers' strike in order to save money. He said, and I quote, "I was supposed to be in a new movie and on a new television show starting in September. None of that is happening." The actor also criticized Disney CEO Bob Iger for saying that the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikers were not being realistic with their demands. American talent company Endeavor's CFO, Jason Lublin, has said that the Hollywood strike is likely to cost the firm about $25 million per month in revenue. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel added that it will be months, not days, before the business comes back up. Emanuel also clarified that his company continues to be aligned with its actor and writer clients. Actor Alexa Davalos will not be returning in the 5th season of CBS's FBI Most Wanted. So far, there's no hint on who will play the character of Special Agent Kristen Gaines. Davalos joined the drama series in the beginning of Season 3. Amid 2 Hollywood strikes, it's unclear when the show will return for a 5th season. Actor Jeff Rowe, the director of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and the movie's producers, like Seth Rogen, have said that animators of the movie were taken care of and were not overworked. They said that the staff could work on the movie while maintaining a good work-life balance. Rowe revealed that the staff worked 3 days a week, while some opted to work from home in Scotland. The nominations for the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards are out. Singer Taylor Swift has 8 nominations, including Video of the Year, Artist of the Year, and Song of the Year. Other artists nominated in the Video of the Year category are Miley Cyrus for Flowers, Sam Smith for Unholy, and Doja Cat for Attention. Artists nominated for Song of the Year are Rema and Selena Gomez for Calm Down, Olivia Rodrigo for Vampire, and Steve Lacy for Bad Habit. The Made in America festival has been cancelled this year. The organizers have cited severe circumstances outside of production control behind the reason. The headliners for the event included singer Lizzo. She recently faced a lawsuit for sexual harassment and creating a toxic working environment. Sex and the City star Chris Noth has admitted to straying from his wife. He also doubled down on denying sexual assault claims. In December 2021, several women accused Chris Noth of sexual assault. Noth called the accusations ridiculous. His Sex and the City character, Mr. Big, is no longer part of the spin-off. In fact, his co-stars, Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis, issued a joint statement in support of the accusers, commending them for coming forward. Actor Jada Pinkett Smith has shared a glimpse of her hair growth journey. In an Instagram post, Smith said, "This hair is acting like it's trying to make a comeback. Still have some trouble spots, but we'll see." The actor has spoken about her battle with alopecia over the years. Alopecia is a form of hair loss that can be hereditary or because of hormonal changes. Streaming platform Max will be paying a tribute to late actor Angus Cloud. An in memoriam card will be added to some episodes of the drama series Euphoria. Cloud played the role of a drug dealer in the show. The actor's mother recently shed light on his final moments and also clarified that his death was unintentional.